Let's throw some jabs.
The fight starts now!
All right, Sergio, time now for a little fill in the blank. We'll start in the lightweight division. The fighter most likely to defeat Devin Haney is blank.
Ryan Garcia. And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this one in a division that's filled with monsters like Tank and Teofimo Lopez and Lomachenko. But they're shorter, experienced punchers. They can win in different ways. You need height to beat Devin Haney. You need a long jab to beat Devin Haney, who has, I think, the best jab in boxing. Ryan Garcia brings both those things to the table. Styles make fights. King Rye and Devin Haney.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Vasily Lomachenko because I think that Devin Haney outboxes nearly everybody in the 135-pound division. He's that good. Lomachenko's the one guy I'm not sure he can outbox. Lomachenko is as good as it gets as a pure boxer, and he still has power at 135 pounds. He can make it a real fight if he gets on the inside against Devin Haney. That's not the fight that Devin Haney wants to get into. He can't fight his basic tactical fight against an opponent like Lomachenko. That's why I think Lomachenko is the most dangerous opponent for Devin Haney. All right, Sergio, let's go to your old friend, Jake Paul. Jake Paul is good for boxing because blank.
Because Jake Paul has a big mouth. He knows how to promote. And if you're going to be a promoter in the boxing business, you got to have a big mouth and you got to have a big following. The man has both. And I got to give him credit, Mannix. Not as a fighter, but as a promoter, because that show that he co-promoted with Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor at Madison Square Garden did rave numbers, rave reviews, and you got to give Jake Paul some kind of credit there. I think he's good for boxing because he gets the eyeballs that normally won't be looking our way.
Yeah, I agree. Because of exposure is why Jake is good for boxing. Even if you love or hate Jake Paul, he's bringing a new set of eyeballs to boxing and a new set of eyeballs that are watching the fighters on his undercard. You mentioned Amanda Serrano. She absolutely got a boost from 2 fights on Jake Paul's undercard. Montana Love got a multi-year contract from Matchroom after picking up a knockout on Jake Paul's undercard. He is getting a lot of people to watch and a lot of exposure for these quote-unquote real boxers, and they are benefiting because of it. Well, the biggest fight in the lightweight division is Ryan Garcia against Tank Davis. Sergio, the winner of a fight between Tank and Ryan is who?
The fans. And I know that sounds cheesy, but I think it will be an explosive, short fight between 2 power punchers that are going to end it really fast. But Tank Davis, under 3 rounds. That's going to be a poor man's version of a war versus Hagler versus Hearns. Exciting fight. Both got hurt. But the power punching relentless southpaw in Hagler was able to get on the inside of the taller, faster, powerful puncher in Hearns. The same thing happens with Tank and Ryan Garcia.
I'm going to go with Ryan Garcia because Tank Davis relies on his opponents to make some mistakes where he can counterpunch them and knock them out. We saw that with Rolly Romero in his last fight. Ryan Garcia absolutely still makes mistakes, but he is going to have a size, reach, and maybe even a speed advantage in this fight. I think at some point during the fight, Tank Davis comes in the inside looking to land a big shot, and Ryan Garcia gets his shot in first and knocks out Tank Davis. Well, Sergio, huge fight coming up on September 17th between Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin. To defeat Canelo, Triple G will have to blank.
Triple G is going to have to win the battle. 12 rounds of a battle and not avoid a war with the younger, more explosive man now. This wasn't 5 years ago when Triple G was at the top of his game, still destructive, still dangerous. We've seen a vulnerable Gennady Golovkin, so I think he has to be smart now. Use that experience and, of course, that jab. Gennady's known for the jab, and if you're going to beat Canelo, you need a jab. Bivol had a jab, Mayweather had a jab. The jab and ring generalship, which both Gennady Golovkin brings to the table.
Yeah, I'm going to go with engage because few fighters in the career of Canelo Alvarez have been willing to stand in the middle of the ring and trade punches with him. Gennady Golovkin did it in 2017 and 18 in 2 memorable fights. We saw Dimitri Bivol do it in his last fight against Canelo and did it with a high level of success. You can't beat Canelo Alvarez moving backwards. You can't beat him fighting from a defensive posture. You have to go out there and win the battle of the middle of the ring. Golovkin showed in the 2 previous fights He could do it in spurts. He has got to do it over 12 rounds in this fight.
Leave it to a man who's afraid of engagement to bring up getting engaged. No way, man. That's the wrong game plan for Golovkin to meet a younger, stronger fighter in the middle of the ring. You got to use your experience now. You got to be the old bull versus the young bull. This ain't 4 or 5 years ago where Golovkin was destroying everybody. The jab and ring generalship, just like Dimitri Bivol, just like Floyd Mayweather, but you do it in your own fashion. That's how Golovkin wins this fight.
Well, it doesn't look like we're going to get Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano 2 anytime soon. Sergio, in her next fight, Katie Taylor should face blank.
Well, if it's not going to be Amanda Serrano, I just want Katie Taylor to get paid, baby. I want her to cross over and fight someone like a Chris Cyborg. There's been rumors of it. I would love to see that fight because it's easy money for Katie Taylor, a lot of money for her, a lot of eyeballs, and that fight would sell. It's between two legends in their sport. I would love to see that quote-unquote circus just because Katie Taylor deserves it that much.
Yeah, I agree. Chris Cyborg would be my choice. Cyborg is arguably the greatest female MMA star of all time. Katie Taylor is arguably the greatest women's boxer of all time. Those two clashing would be an event. Now, I don't think Cyborg has much of a chance, largely because I don't believe that MMA fighters getting into boxing have much of a chance, but there would be a lot of eyeballs on it, a lot of people paying attention. It would be a quick and I think relatively easy payday for Katie Taylor before she goes into a rematch with Amanda Serrano.
And that's why I call it a circus.
All right, Sergio, let's turn to your career. The fight you would like to get a redo on is blank.
Vernon Forrest, may God rest his soul, because he was a great champion, and it's a fight that, I know I could have beat him that second time around. That rematch, I just beat myself with my lifestyle outside the ring. So bring back that fight, because you're not a real champion until you defend your championship, and I came up short after I won that title. So Vernon, the Viper Forrest.
See, I thought you were going to say Shane Mosley, because as someone that watched that fight, I would like a redo on that as well. Because if I have to go back in time and watch that fight again, I would like you to supply me with a fork so I could stick that fork in both my eyeballs so I don't have to watch you go 12 rounds with Shane Mosley again.
Hey, listen, Shane Mosley went 12 rounds with a lot of fighters, and you could include me in that name. A lot of greats. And when you talk about Shane Mosley, you talk about the Hall of Fame Shane Mosley. I went 12 rounds with the Hall of Famer, Mannix. Give me mine.
Did you think that was a good fight?
Terrible fight.